Hello, Dr. Karen here. Welcome to this week's video for the week of January 6th, 2025. So what are we talking about in the Spiritual Medicine Digest? Well, let me back up a bit and talk about our theme for 2025. It's called Illumination Revelation and is all about how do we honor, respect, and also learn from the shadow parts of ourselves, because the yin and yang are a balance to some degree. And fascinatingly, in our culture and society, we have shunned the dark, and at the same time, this is part of our topic for today, at the same time have literally been addicted to the dark parts of humanity. So what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about the emotional realm. Now, in our model in TOLPAKAN Healing, one of the things that we can do is check in to see if there's a problem, if there's an issue, if there's something we want to solve. We can look at it from several different aspects. We can look at it from the physical, biological aspects, especially if it's something healing related, right? That's healing the body. We can look at it from the mental aspect, the emotional aspect, energetic, spiritual, and even dimensional aspects. And as we go through the weeks, you'll get more informed about what all these different things are. So this week's source has guided me to talk about the emotional. And this will not necessarily be in the PMEESD order. It can be kind of like whatever source says is what's going on this week. So this week, we're going to skip physical for now and go and mental and go straight into the emotional. So what is our topic? Our topic has to do with anger, rage, and creation. Is it really that necessary? So before we kind of dive into the nitty-gritty here, I just remembered, if you're new to my channel, would love for you to hit the subscribe button, perhaps the notification bell, so every time I do a new video, you will be notified. And if you like this video, would really appreciate a thumbs up and maybe a share to someone who might align with some of the information here. Awesome. So let's get started. Emotions. Okay. I was watching some movies / TV shows, and I tend to really enjoy those that include magic or the supernatural or spiritual gifts, and the hero is learning how to hone their superpowers, right? I wrote a whole book on it, sensitivities are superpower, right? So I'm really into that kind of film. And what I noticed was this pattern of, they do call it TV programming. So let's just say programming that in order, now listen carefully, in order to access your powers, you need to be in survival mode, like you're going to die, fearful, or anger. Think about it. Think about it. In fact, some of the even some of the advertisement, like Gladiator, the second one, where the one guy, I haven't watched the movie yet, but I saw the trailer, talks about, hang on to your anger. That's the source of your power, right? And you see this pattern over and over again in our films. And you see the hero not knowing how to control their superpowers, right? But then they get angry. Someone they love is hurt or killed or whatever, and then they have this access to their superpower. Yeah, what messaging is that? So I want you to feel into it in the moment and go, is that really true? Or are we being programmed to stay angry, to keep anger in our back pocket in case we need to use it to save our lives, right? Or to access our superpowers? So the message from Source this week is around that emotionality and going, wait a second. Let's be conscious about this. If that's not actually true, what could be true? Now, there is a film that you may be familiar with. It's fairly old. It's called Monsters, Inc., and it is a cartoon, and you would say it's for children. However, spoiler alert. In the movie, and it's actually quite triggering if you really think about it. In the movie, Monsters go into the human dimension and they scare children at night when they're sleeping to harness their fear energy. There's a lot of truth to some of that. Anyway, so they harness the fear energy and they put it in these containers, and that's how they power their world and city. Okay? However, it's getting kind of scarce, it's getting kind of harder to scare the children. And one escapes into their dimension. And one of the monsters befriends this little girl because she's actually not scared of him. Long story short, I did say, spoiler alert, right? So long story short, they find out that laughter is much more powerful. And so instead of scaring the children, they go in to entertain the children and make them laugh, whether it be stand-up comedy or slapstick or whatever it is. And the children laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh, and they gain so much more energy to power their city. So there is an element of truth in that movie, because I believe, you may or may not agree with me, let me know in the comments, that we do not have to use anger and fear for creation. In fact, I think they're the antithesis of the creation of what it is we desire, because the way the law of attraction works, the way the energy that I have noticed in the universe works, is that whatever you put your energy to, and the bigger the energy quotient of that emotion, you will manifest more of that. So if we are in fear of our lives, the universe goes, oh, you want more things to be afraid of? Sure, I can do that for you because I love you, right? Same thing with anger. If you're upset at something, angry at something, and most of us are, generally speaking, not fighting for our lives every day like the heroes in the TV shows, right? So the anger, the universe goes, oh, that made you angry? Wow, there's a lot of energy there. That must mean you want that. So I'll give you more things to be angry about. Woo, because I love you, right? So if we're really desiring to create a peaceful world, instead of necessarily adopting this programming, which is, harnessing the dark for this purpose of creation, we can just acknowledge that that is a way. However, there are consequences to that way, and probably does not elevate us to that heaven on earth level that we desire. So the dark actually is informing us and evolving us to there is another way if we take the hint. But a lot of us have not because of the programming, right? So if we go, oh, wait a second, I don't actually want to create that way. I can create a different way through love, through joy. Let me try that. Now, do we have a lot of movies supporting that? Not so much. Not so much, unless you're talking about documentaries, right? So it's a little bit of a steep climb for those that haven't really gotten that part of the so-called positive programming. Here we go. But that's okay. That's okay. You're here. You're here. And if this message resonates with you, I'd love some comments below to see how that lands for you. So at the same time, we don't have to shun the dark. And this is another aspect I wanted to mention here, and I'll probably expand on it in another video. In every single, I know I'm being very, direct, every single hero movie where the people of the light have tried to shut down the dark, destroy the dark via a preemptive strike. Some of you know that this is happening in our world right now, so I'm not going to be popular with some people. We fail. And in fact, we inform the dark how to overcome us. Why is that, right? You cannot use dark methods to become more light. I am sorry. Some of you are going to argue with me and go, nope, we need to return the bad guys to source. That's another way of saying murder and kill, okay? I'm just not with that program. Think about it. I mean, some of our media really actually tells us the truth. Every time the good guys try to get rid of the bad guys before the bad guys get to them, we have this all-out war, right? It never works the way they think it does or will. It always backfires. Always backfires. There's more death, more pain, because they don't see another way. There's tunnel vision. We have to get rid of the dark. We have to get rid of the dark. Well, you know what? The dark is just part of the whole. I mean, we judge it as bad, but it's just an aspect of the whole that we get to evolve and learn from. There's mystical aspects of it. We get to illuminate, reveal, right, more of our choosing, our light, if you will, choosing, because I'm choosing that in this lifetime, right? Through some of these dark parts of ourselves and of humanity and things like that. So how do we change the world? That's a big question. So we're going to talk more about that in future videos. I could talk for hours on this topic, but we'll give you a little taste for now. And thank you so much for joining me for this week's video. Would love your comments below. Tell me what you think. Last but not least, let's go ahead and do a little TOLPAKAN Healing Activation. So in this activation, you can choose to receive the energies. And all this is an attempt. It may or may not work for you, kind of depending on where you're at and what is acceptable and what's allowed. But let's go ahead and delete some of that programming that doesn't serve humanity, at least from my perspective, any longer, to co-create our heaven on earth together. You ready? Okay, so if it's safe for you to do so, you can close your eyes, but you don't have to. Rub your hands. We're just getting some heat and energy going here. This is optional. Relax. And then tune in and focus on your hands or anywhere that you have moved, anywhere you feel any movement inside your body. This is called stillness through observing internal movement. And I'll put a link below with a free training. Follow that flow wherever that goes and continue feeling it throughout this TOLPAKAN healing directive and activation. I now command the patterns and energies that have programmed us to believe that we need anger and fear and other negative emotions in order to create, in order to be safe, in order to be happy, and to create heaven on earth. That all those patterns be deleted, dissolved, and uncreated, and replaced and flipped and transmuted to the positive pattern of knowing in our heart of hearts that we can create that heaven on earth with other energies, including joy and love. Now command this be complete, with ease, speed, and grace, and the highest and best way in all timelines where we exist, we're allowed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, and go ahead and open your eyes if your eyes are closed. Let me know in the comments, how did that activation feel for you? How did this week's message land for you? And I will see you next week. Much love. Bye for now. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it resonated with you. And if it did, would love for you to click like, subscribe, and perhaps even share it with someone you love and who could really use this message as well. And feel free to also click the notification bell so every time I do a new video, you will be notified. In the meantime, I would love to connect with you in my Light Medicine community. It's a private community where sensitive souls get together, we share stories, we love and support each other, and it's a beautiful, safe space. I absolutely love it. And remember, when you first come in to introduce yourself, I'll put the link below, as well as this week's amazing and exciting offerings and announcements. I'll see you in the community.